If you've ever been in a situation where you just couldn't help talking when you know that you shouldn't, you might be a compulsive communicator. McCroskey's Talkaholic scale measures the compulsive communication in an individual. It's comprised of 16 questions, and if you score below 30 points, you are not a talkaholic. Between 30 and 39, you are a borderline talkaholic, and 40 and above, you are a talkaholic. I scored a 32, so I'm at the lower end of borderline. The academic article that I found that uses the scale is by Fortney, Johnson, and Long, and they used the compulsive communication scores of students to see how compulsive communication influenced the self-perceived communication competence of the other students in the class at the college level. So they evaluated 530 students across 27 courses taught by 7 different instructors over the course of 3 semesters. Each of these courses was an introductory communication course using the same curriculum. They chose this course because they wanted to see if the self-perceived communication competence would change in relation to having a compulsive communicator in the class, and having a communication course would show an increase in all of their scores so that they could compare how the increases were different between the 2 variables. Now, 191 students were in a course with a compulsive communicator, and 339 students were in a course without any compulsive communicators. The students that were in courses with compulsive communicators still did increase their self-perceived communication competence scores, but they didn't increase nearly as much as students in classes without compulsive communicators. And Fortney, Johnson, and Long said that this may be because they don't have as much of an option to speak. They might be intimidated by the compulsive communicators, and they also might compare themselves to the compulsive communicators. So whether or not their competence is above the compulsive communicator, because that talkaholic does talk more, it's harder for the non-compulsive communicator to realize that their competence level isn't higher just because they talk and answer questions more. So the talkaholics had a significant negative impact on the development of self-perceived communication competence in non-talkaholics. And this is important because this scale is mostly used to let people be aware that they are compulsive communicators and try to work on that, and also for teachers to realize that they need to lessen the amount of speaking in the classroom that is from one person and trying to get everybody involved, trying to do group work and things to overcome that compulsive communication. And since talkaholics have a significant negative impact on self-perceived communication competence, it's important in future studies to look at the impact that compulsive communicators have on others in different situations and on different variables. So Fortney, Johnson, and Long really liked this scale because not only did it help them in their experiment, but they know that it'll help them find out more about the impact of compulsive communication on many other variables in life.